So I will cut to the chase and put you out of your suspense. If I can advance the slide. There we are. And the answer really is there are over 250,000 specimens for the flora of Britain and Ireland in the herbarium here at the Royal Botanic Garden, Edinburgh. This is the National Herbarium. Of course, it does extend well beyond the flora of Britain and Ireland. But importantly, this is the national reference collection for Scotland in particular, and part of a meta collection, a national meta collection for Britain and Ireland. Our collection here at the Royal Botanic Garden, Edinburgh, is extremely comprehensive, of course, for Scotland. It represents 1,199 type specimens. So kudos to anyone who can get us one more type specimen urgently, please, so that we can just round that up to 1,200. Of course, it's not surprisingly dominated by flowering plants, but that's not to say that any of the other lineages that are represented in our collection are insignificant. In fact, because of the unique bryophyte and cryptogam-rich nature of the flora of Scotland in particular, our collections are especially authoritative for some of those groups. And they're accessible online. In fact, the whole collection is digitized. So this image here represents what a lot of the cabinets contain, which is pressed plants and fungal material, specimens that are necessarily preserved to be as flat as possible, which means we can squeeze as many of them as possible into a cabinet. But of course, our collection also contains many other things, including a collection of plant tissue material preserved in silica gel. We have a carpological collection of seeds ranging from dust seeds to, the coco de mer. There's one example in the corridor there. We have an exquisite collection of algae and various aspects of our Flora of Britain and Ireland collection are really under development, reflecting research ongoing at RBGE. You've heard about some of it this morning, but also reflecting your own work, because many of the specimens that BSBI recorders are gathering to support your own recording eventually make their way to the national collection. So beyond that really important reference collection for the UK and Ireland, we have a total, we think, of about 3 million specimens. We'll know for sure once we've advanced our digitization process. Our collection, the earliest collection is from 1697. And we are accessioning up to 30,000 new specimens every year. So this is very much a working collection. While it contains hundreds of years of collecting efforts, this is not a historic collection. This is, neither is it backstage. Sometimes it's referred to sort of behind the scenes. It's not at all. It's part of the beating heart of our research here at RBGE, and it supports researchers from across the region as well, including yourselves. So the digital herbarium is progressing. We have our database comprises, we think, about 50% or half of all of the accessions in the collection, which means currently we can search very accurately for half of the collection. But we are anticipating funding as part of a joined up UK-wide program to scale up digitization, which is going to result in these digital mirror collections for the whole collection. With this slide, I just want to point out to you that while we do have very old specimens, the sedum on your left was collected in 1790. The lichen on the right was collected by Becky Yar, who's in the audience today, on Ben Nevis, and that was the millionth digital specimen for us. While the specimens may be hundreds of years apart, the label data actually are very similar, whether they were collected a long time ago or very recently. And it's those label data that now underpin really important research into how we develop the collection. You'll be hearing more about that from Marie Briggs a bit later. I just want to highlight with these digital specimens, you can access them through our catalogue, but they will give you from the comfort of your desktop or your phone an opportunity to zoom into the equivalent of a 10 times hand lens. So you really do have an opportunity to use these specimens to support your work wherever you are. So you can find them on our catalogue. You can also find them as part of the DISCO UK catalogue or the NBN Atlas. DISCO is all of the natural science collections. The NBN Atlas also includes observations without specimens. And finally, you can also find them on a global resource such as GBIF. So please do use them. If you're interested in learning more or using the collections, you can request a visit. We're open by appointments. You can contact me if you're interested in research opportunities. And of course, there's more information about our collections on the website. So thanks very much. Sorry, I think I may have gone over.